All right, we're back again with another video looking at some things that sold over the past week. Thanks for watching the video, and let me know if you learned anything, liked anything. Drop me a comment, hit the like button, subscribe. It's hard out here for a new YouTuber. We need all the help we can get. All right, let's get into it here. This is a wall hair clipper, and I bought this on Amazon on sale. I'd have to check. You know what I need to do in the future when I make these is have what I paid and sold it for ready instead of just guessing. So, but anyways, I needed one of these for myself. I cut my own hair. Who cares, right? I needed one of these for myself. I got on Amazon. It was, I don't know, I think like $15. It was this crazy sale price with a coupon. So normally they're about $40. So I said, let me buy two and I'll put one on eBay, and sold it. And so that's what I did. I sold it for about $35. It's in a box, sealed, unopened. So a simple sale, simple package. I just wrapped it up, put it in a poly bag, and sent it on its way. So that was a quick sale, easy to ship. The next thing we have here are some razors, and I got this at a Big Lot type of store. I'm here in the city, and there are a number of them. I don't know if we have Big Lots, but there's Ocean State Job Lots, Big Lots, and there's another one. And I was in there one day, and these were really cheap, you know, probably $1 a pack, let's say. And the reason why I picked them up is because they are from the UK. It's a UK brand, and they don't, as far as I could tell, they don't sell them here in the States. You know, you can't get these at CVS or Target. And so I picked a few up because I imagine there's going to be somebody in the States who wants these because they like these razors and they can't get them here. And so these sold for about $15. Actually, let me bring up my eBay account separately and see exactly what these items sold for. And while I do that, thanks again, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you have any comments, likes, dislikes. Put it in the comments, and if you have any questions, I can answer them. And another thing that sold this week is some pickled garlic. And in fact, I've just noticed that the last three items, this pickled garlic and the last two items, are all retail arbitrage, meaning you buy it at a retail store on clearance, on sale, with coupons, you know, for a price that's much cheaper than the regular price, and then you sell it online at regular price. So that's what I did with the hair clippers, that's what I did with the razors, and that's what I've done with these pickled garlics from Italy. I bought them on clearance. You have to make sure when you buy clearance items, food clearance items, that the expiration date is far in the future, because you're not allowed to sell things that are past the expiration date. And a lot of the clearance food items are clearance because the expiration date is that month, for instance. But these, the expiration date was the end of 2024. So I bought 4 of them, and I sold all 4 of them to somebody in Alaska who had to pay a bit for shipping because, you know, they're heavy and they went far. He paid a total of $63.84, all told, taxes and shipping. I paid $4 a piece for the jars. So it cost me $16. Let's say it cost $15 to ship. eBay fees, so being very conservative here, $20 shipping, eBay fees. So I was in for $36 and I got $63. Not bad. And in fact, I'm gonna buy them again next time they're on clearance and do the same thing. And I'll probably buy more next time. This next item is something that I like to do a lot. It's the lid from a coffee pot. From a, let's see if I can see what coffee pot. It's the lid from a Presto stainless steel coffee maker. Often what I like to do is buy home appliances or electronics, I think I mentioned this in my last video, and take them apart and sell them as parts. One, I enjoy doing it. It's like a hobby. taking things apart, seeing what part is what, learning about them. 2, I like selling them to people because somebody needs it, right? They bought it because they needed it or wanted it for something. So, you're providing somebody a service. And 3, they're easy to ship and handle. This is a first-class item, under a pound. You can put it in a small box. Whereas if you sold the whole coffee maker together, that's a heavy item in a bigger box. It would cost more to ship. It's harder to handle. And so I like taking it apart and selling everything part by part. I clean it up nice, because you're providing a service here, right? Even though this is just like a hobby for me and I enjoy it, the people who are buying it, it's a business, right? So they're your customer. You're providing a service, and I want my customers to be happy with their item that they received. I want it to be clean, functioning, working. And that even extends to the photos and the listing. I try to take care with that as best I can, because if you take care to present the item as best you can, then the customer knows you care. And if they know you care, it's easier for them to feel good about the purchase because they know you care. You'll see some items listed on eBay. Somebody might put the item on their bed and take the photo from far away. And while that's fine, right, to each their own, I don't think it lets the customer know that you care enough. And that would give a buyer pause. I'm sure it would give me pause. So that's this stainless steel coffee pot lid went out for, actually I've got my eBay open now. It went out for $12.95. I bet I paid $12 for the whole coffee pot. I try not to spend too much money on items. Speaking of, this is, let's see. Let me bring this up. This is I had it listed as an original brew cover for a Keurig View V700 coffee maker. So this was, if you're familiar with those coffee makers, on the top, you put the coffee pot in, the coffee pod, P-O-D, you push the lid down. This was a part of that lid. In the hole there was the poker for the coffee pod. Anyways, it was like, once it was all taken apart, there were like 4 pieces to it. This was one part, and I sold it for $10. Including shipping on these, because on these smaller items, it might have been sitting for a while, to be competitive, and for it to sell, I priced it at $10, including shipping. And it went first class. It's light and cheap. It probably cost me $4 to ship it. And then, again, this next item is something I talked about in my last video. This is a pin. And as I mentioned in my last video, I like to buy lots of pins or buttons or keychains and sell them individually. So this pin, as you can see, is a vintage 1989-1990 Los Angeles Philharmonic season pin. I listed it at, I think, $19.95. Let me check here. Yeah, $19.95 plus shipping, first class. So the buyer paid $26.35 for this pin. Somebody from Los Angeles. And again, I really enjoy doing this. These things are easy to photo. They're easy to list. It's also worn, and I made sure to point that out in the listing. You have to let buyers know what they're going to expect. You can't try to hide defects or not point them out, because then they're going to get the item and be disappointed and send it back. It's a bad experience for everybody, and it's going to cost you money as a seller. And here is one of the containers I used to store pins. That pin was in this container, so I'll just show you some of the other ones that I have listed currently. This is a Pink Panther pin. That top piece, you bend that over to put it on your shirt or your pocket, and it says clean and treat medicated first aid pad. So this must have been some type of marketing promo and they used the Pink Panther image and logo, and That was a San Francisco trolley pin. This is an Italia 90 Coca-Cola World Cup pin. This is a Pokemon pin that won't sell quickly because there are so many of them on there, but I listed it anyways. This is one I like this pin. It's an Aspen, Colorado's like skiing pin, I think. It's in the shape of a snowflake. On the back, it says something, and if there's a stamp on the back, these are called stamps. If there's stamps on the back, I note that in the listing because I'm not a pin expert by any means, but pin collectors, that matters to them. They want to know what the stamp says. Here's a vintage Cheers pin. Vintage I Love New York pin. That's probably from the 80s. I can tell by the design. Here's a good pin. Here's a cool pin too. I like this one. This is an old Vote Socialist Party political pin from 1972. Not super uncommon, but uncommon enough. There are probably a few listed. That's been up for a while. I'm waiting for the right buyer. I think I've got it listed at about $30. And then the last pin here is another one of those. You have to pull down the top part there. And this is a contributor pin that visitors to a museum here in New York would get. I think it was the Met. You got that when you made a donation. So if you're still here watching, thanks. I appreciate it. Let me know if you find any of this interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Here I want to give you an example of how I package the pins. I do this if I sell a small item, a small piece, a pin, a button, a key for $20 or more. I will put it in these jewelry boxes. I bought them probably on Amazon. They weren't cheap, but they're not too expensive. But I think I paid about 40 cents a piece for them. But when I'm selling a pin, which is a very small item, sometimes under an inch, when somebody's spending $20 or more on something that's only an inch big, I don't want to just put it in a piece of bubble wrap or tape it between cardboard and stick it in a thin, craft mailer. While that's probably fine, I want to present it a little bit better than that. I want the buyer to feel good about the purchase, and so I put it in a tiny Ziploc bag. It's I think 2 by 3 inches, and then I put it in the jewelry box, and then I put a rubber band on the jewelry box to keep it closed, and then I put this little box in a small box to send out, in a small 6 by 4 by 2 box to send out first class. Next item I sold was this Disney princess doll. This one actually sat for a while. I bought a lot of these on an online auction site, a bunch of them, and they all sold relatively quickly. Disney products tend to sell okay, the right ones, but this was the last one, and it sat for a while, but it finally sold. This is a 2015 Elena of Avalor 11-inch Hasbro Disney doll. Barbie doll, and I sold it for $11.95 plus shipping. Here's another fun item I like selling. Parts of board games, parting them out. So I bought this board game Gloomhaven expansion kit. It was sealed. I think I bought it at a Goodwill. Probably paid $5 for it, and I brought it home and listed each part separately. There were probably, I bet, 10 parts in there, including this sheet of stickers. This is just one sheet of stickers. It's about 8 by 11. And I listed it for $9.95 plus shipping, and it sold. And all the other items, most of the other items have sold too. Card decks, dice, player pieces, whatever. And those all I listed for $14.95. And they all sold. And the reason why I like listing things out for parts is, I mentioned it before, providing the service. It's fun to do, etc., etc. But this box, the whole board game sealed, probably sells for $25 or $30. I think. I'd have to double check, but around there. Often with free shipping. That'll cost you $10 to send it out. So you paid $5, you get $20. This way, I probably made $100 on all the parts separately. $15 a piece. 10 pieces. Except this one, because it was just a simple sheet of stickers, I sold it for $9.95. So I think that's about the last item I want to show you for things that sold last week. Thanks again for watching. I hope you learned something. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Comment below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share it with your friends. See you next time.